everybody, how you doing? I'm Rusty Nelson, and welcome to this channel. I am currently down in the Villages, about the central part of Florida, and I'd like to give these quick updates when there is some tropical weather that may influence us here in the Villages. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing these. As most of you know, I was a storm chaser and was a guide with Roger Hill and Silver Lining Tours out in the Midwest. And basically that's what we did, kind of like the movie Twister, went around and did a lot of photography of storms and that type of thing. But when I moved out here to Florida, I became, for self-preservation, I guess, became interested in hurricanes, although I'm probably not going to go out and chase them. I thought it might be a good idea, since I have this channel, that when something may affect us, kind of give you a heads up and that type of thing. So that's what I'm going to do with this right now. And with that said, please subscribe and like if you could. I'd really appreciate it. It's also not going to be very technical. This is just to give you a quick idea of what's going on, give you a heads up, and you should do your own investigation into this to see whether it's going to affect you at all. So here we go. Let's jump right into this one. On the last video I did, I gave you this app and the link to this app and told you what it was. You can look this up. This is NOAA, the 7-day outlook for the tropics. And this is up until just a couple hours ago. This was Invest 95L. And in case you don't know what that is, this is a area of investigation, and the numbers run in the 90s and they just keep circulating around. But I didn't want to say anything until this kind of progressed a little bit and kind of became more than just a invest. And it just did in the last couple of hours and became a depression. So this is 95 as it looked just a couple hours ago, and today is the 5th. And it's midday or so. And this was the direction that they were forecasting. Now, let me say, for those that don't know, it is extremely hard when these storms actually haven't formed to actually forecast exactly where they're going to go, because things change. The way they're kind of steered around the Atlantic changes. A high may move, a low may push in, a front may push in, and kind of steer these in certain directions. But 2 weeks out, 10 days out, they can kind of give you an idea, and that's what we're going to take a look at on this one. And here is the National Hurricane Center and its forecast, just as this turned into 13 just a little while ago. And that basically means that this is officially a depression. Now, I will tell you right now, this looks like it's going to be a pretty strong storm, and we'll take a look at what the forecast progressions are. So this is where 13 sits right now. And if we take a look at satellite images, you can see 13 right down in this area. And right towards the end, right here, you can start to see it wrap up a little bit, and it gets a little more intense. Let's take a look at the satellite view, and you can take a look at this and see right here as this starts to wrap up and moving in our direction, and I believe it's about 15 knots or so. This is timing. Take a look at the timing. It should be over Puerto Rico and kind of the islands just around over the weekend. So you can see it's not going to be here really quick. This is one of the models. There are many models, but this is the GFS model. And this is where over time, as you can look over here on the right, these are hours out in advance. Like I said, this is September 5th, and this is the 6Z model, and it runs out 384 hours. So let's take a look at this. It is right down the bottom center, right here, and watch as it progresses. Now, the thing is, it looks like it's kind of heading right towards the Carolinas or Georgia or Florida. But if you look way up north, you can see there's a low, there's a high, and then there's another high that comes down into here. And what that does, as it's forecast out, and this is hour 150. It steers in north, but you can see this is really wrapped up and this is really a strong storm. Something to be watched out for. The thing that worries me just a little bit right now is that it doesn't take much when a storm's this strong to move this way. If one of these highs is a little off, or you have a front up in this area that changes over the next week, this may not hold true. And basically you can see it just wraps up and goes off. But here it is again. And that is the way it's forecast to move. So obviously it's not going to affect us too much. This was for 95. Don't have any exact ones out for it, but this is the spaghetti pattern. And what this does, for people who don't know, this takes a whole bunch of models and kind of lumps them up on a chart. And when they all agree like this, where they're running right along kind of towards where this black line is, then you got a pretty good chance of that's the way the storm's going to go. But as time goes on, you will see this will probably start to spread out because, like I said, it's really hard to forecast a storm until it gets really wrapped up and moving, and until it's a little closer. So it's not supposed to be up into the island area up here until the weekend. And by then, we will get a much better forecast. That's about it for this right now. I will try to give you an update in, I don't know, probably towards the weekend. We'll be able to tell a lot easier where this is going exactly or how things have shifted around. But those forecasts all depend on those highs that are sitting up there and how fast they move through, how far they go to the north, and that will tell us whether they're kind of blocking the storm and keeping it south, or it ends up moving it further north and turning it into a fish storm where it goes out into the Atlantic. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me really quick. That just gives you a heads up, nothing to worry about right now, and I will give you an update towards the week. Make sure you subscribe, and when you do subscribe, ring the little bell, push the button that has the bell all the way up on top, so that when you come up on YouTube, it will push these updates up front to you. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me. I hope this helps you out. You can take advantage of some of the links down below, and have a great week. And looks like some good sunshine for us down here in Florida. Have a great day.